Do you recall interview with Rosemary Zednick that you did on October 14th?
That the one with Detective Desnews?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And do you recall saying at that time that we have citizens that will do that, of course, and not think, well, heck, it doesn't matter, you know, and you're not going to do anything with it. And because, like I said, we've got people that I've talked to face-to-face that have said, I'm 150% sure it was her.
If you've got something I can see,
You had an interview with Rosemary Zednick, is that correct?
yes, myself and Detective Desnews, yes.
I'm going to object to the interview.
Well, I'm not going to ask about,
I'm not going to allow any statements made by her or any statements made by him which contain the hearsay of her.
do you recognize that as being a portion of a transcript between yourself and Rosemary Zednick from October of 2008?
I can't say for sure. I don't recall this exact statement.
Would it help you if you heard it in audio format?
Would it help me if you would show me page 39 and possibly 41?
Front page, if you would please take a look at it, pages 39 through 41.
Okay.
Detective, do you recall making that statement?
I don't, like I said, I don't recall making it, but I recall speaking to Ms. Zednick.
Detective, do you recall speaking, saying that you had spoken to numerous people who were 100?
I'm going to object to this question. I think Your Honor needs to look for that so you can see.
I reviewed the defendant's exhibit number 97. The objection is sustained.
Your Honor, I'd like to be heard.
All right, members of the jury, please step to the jury room while we take this up outside of your presence. Let the record reflect that all members of the jury have left the courtroom. Do you want to state or do you want to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe that the issue that we've asserted again and again, and the court has made clear, is that we have asserted that the investigation was inept and dishonest. In this statement, Detective Daniels specifically refers to speaking to people face-to-face that believed they were 150% sure that it was her. It is abundantly clear from this that he is referring to, and he's speaking to a woman who's confident that she saw Nancy Cooper that morning. It is a direct statement by Detective Daniels that he personally has interviewed people that are dead certain that that's who they saw that morning. And the bottom line is that means one of two things. Either there are a number of people who Detective Daniels spoke with that are 150% certain and that have asserted to him, I saw her on this day, or Detective Daniels is being dishonest to a witness on a relevant point. Either way that cuts, it is entirely relevant to this cross-examination.
Comments, do you want to respond? A portion of that paragraph, I think, is all that's highlighted.
Not even all of the paragraph, but if you were to take that paragraph, it doesn't explain what's going on. That is on page 40 of a 45-page interview. And what is happening is that Detective Daniels is having to apologize to her because she has felt left out, because nobody has come to see her. And in fact, 3 or 4 officers had already talked to her, and nobody was paying any attention to her, so she put it on the called in, and they put it on their website. So he calls in and says, hey, look, who's this person on your website? You don't even name her. How about telling me who that is? So that's the response he gets. Finally, they say, this is who they is. They realize that they've already talked to her, and this lady's upset because nobody's paying any attention to her. That's what this context is, to try to smooth things over with her as to why they didn't come see her sooner. And that, to take that paragraph and say that Detective Daniels is saying that there are people that are 150% sure, that's not why he is saying that. He's saying that to try to apologize to this lady and make her feel better.
It's his prerogative to explain that as a witness, Your Honor. The bottom line is, Ms. Zednick had called the police on multiple occasions, starting while Ms. Cooper was missing, and they did not follow up with her. And if it is an apology of sorts, it is a disingenuous one, and it's one that bears on this witness's credibility.
The fact that he was not as apologetic as Ms. Manners would expect him to be?
No, the fact that he is making a statement that, in the light least favorable to Detective Daniels, is just plain dishonest, or most favorable, that he actually spoke to a bunch of people that are 150% certain that it's him.
I think that we're taking it all out of context. My review of that exhibit has led me to rule in my discretion pursuant to Rule 611A, which reads, "The court shall exercise reasonable control over the mode and order of interrogating witnesses and presenting evidence so as to, 1, make the interrogation and presentation effective for the ascertainment of the truth, and 2, avoid needless consumption of time." I'm not going to get into number 3 because I don't think it's applicable. But based upon those two reasons in Rule 611, the objection is sustained.
Your Honor, I'd ask that
You can memorialize it, constitutionalize it, put it on the record, preserve every right for this to be taken up on appeal if this matter gets appealed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Objections pursuant to the 5th, 6th, 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution, as well as Article 1, Sections 19 and 23. And I would ask to admit Defendant's Exhibit 97 for appellate purposes.
You can admit it in your case in chief or at the time that you admit all the other exhibits.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Ms. Zednick.
Good afternoon.
If I were to show you a map of the area, would you be able to help illustrate your testimony by pointing things out on the map to where you live?
Sure.
Saturday, July 12, 2008.
Yes,
Do you recall going out for a walk that morning?
I took the dog.
Okay. And could you tell us what happened while you were going out walking your dog that morning?
Well, I went down my street, which is a very short distance, crossed over, went into the Lockmore Pool. So I came out, went across, this is the pool parking lot, went into the pool parking lot, made a left, and it doesn't show it here, but there's a little walkway here that brings you back out here, and then I usually turn right and continue my walk. But when I came out that morning, it was so hot, and then my dog got caught in his leash, so I stopped. And then I tried, get the leash set again. Then I looked up, and I saw a jogger come jogging past me. I said hi. She said hi. I continued north. She continued south. And then I continued my walk.
Okay. And what did you notice about her?
She was about 5'9". She was tan or like a pool mom. She's outside a lot. Good shape, maybe 135, 45 pounds. Dark hair, pulled back. She had on a light top and dark shorts.
So how is it that the next day when you saw the flyer, you believed it was her?
Because she was so close to me, and she had an elongated face. That's what drew my attention, that long face, dark hair pulled back.
Okay. And how confident were you that it was the same woman?
I was real confident. Sunday when I got the flyer, and I came home, there was activity behind my house in the lake. That's when my husband said, "Rosemary, you need to call the police."
And what did you do?
I called the police.
Who did you talk to?
I left a message, and I told them exactly what I saw. The only time I saw the Cary police or anybody contacted me was the night before I was to come to testify in Mr. Cooper's custody case. That's when Detective Daniels and another detective came to my house.
So
First time.
there was no other follow-up done by Cary Police?
Nope.
And did Detective Daniels provide you with an explanation as to why it had been so long before you were contacted?
Basically, they were doing an investigation, and one person didn't know what the other person was doing, and then maybe the files were lost, and they didn't have that information. I mean, that was it.